Stay tuned as we continue to add to our LinkedIn profile. Connect with us by searching City of Lancaster on LinkedIn today.
And now, back to Local Gourmet.
Nia and Bree lovingly named Floridana's Cakery after their grandmothers, and now they're celebrating their first successful year here on the boulevard.
I used to work for Marilyn Norris with Double D Cupcakes. I worked for her for 6 years. I opened up the shop here on Lancaster Boulevard, and once it was time for her to retire, she offered the business to me. The vibe of having cupcakes, it's what she got the community used to. I make sure that I keep that around so it's a staple that the community can kind of stick with, but we are now introducing more products. We bake everything from scratch. We have fresh ingredients. We don't use any cake mixes. We make every little thing that you see in our case. We do cupcakes for vegan and gluten-free and sugar-free by special order because it's hard to keep in the case. But we have brownies and cookies and all kinds of pastries that we offer for all the different diet fads.
Now you mentioned custom cakes, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so we do cakes for every event. We do bridal shows and baby showers and weddings. We've done a divorce party, all kinds of fun events, and everything's fully customizable. So it's not like when you go to a grocery store and you can choose from X, Y, and Z. You can do everything.
So how was the first year?
Exhausting, very hard, overwhelming, but fully worth it.
So you guys met when you purchased something online?
So on Facebook, there's the marketplaces that people sell things and put it out there. And she was selling this really cool brownie pan. One day I was at work and my mom went to go pick it up. My mom loved her, she loved my mom, and I was like, I want to meet you, let's be friends. The day I met her, I told her my life story.
They come in here 2-3 times a week, and you know, I hear stories. Oh, I used to sit at the bar over there and the chair would rattle from the train, or you know, my grandfather brought me here. I had a lady come from San Diego, and you'd be surprised. I got people Fresno, I got San Diego coming from Sacramento down to Anaheim for a wedding, and they're like, oh yeah, we love it here. We give back the most we can. We host tons of things. We do every Tuesday we do coffee for vets. That's huge, 150, 200 guys minimum. You know, we got Korean War vets that come. These guys are in their 90s. So we got guys 80, 90, and this is a highlight for them, you know, so they look forward to it. So, you know, we give them free coffee. If they want to eat, it's half off. That's every Tuesday all year long. We do coffee with a deputy. They come in one Thursday a month. We do tip a cop. It's for the Special Olympics. We do it about 2 to 3 times a year, and the community really supports big. You know, you'd be surprised. The day we do those events, it's just big. In the 90s, they wanted to do something big. So Crazy Autos, they did 1,300 or 1,400 square foot outlet. So it was the world's biggest at the time. It took, I believe, 100 people or more. I mean, they had, you know, boom lifts to pour the stuff over. They had, I think, 15 grills. So a lot of people got involved. Pretty much all the local businesses stepped up to the plate, like, we'll help in some way. Definitely, I think it was something that everybody was involved in. Just come visit us. We're on Avenue I. We open at 5 a.m. and yeah, come support us, and we appreciate it. We have Avenue K locations, great. Acton, come visit us. I think they're doing some new stuff in Valencia. So definitely, you know, if you're up and down the 14, we run it.
background, huh? Call the meeting to order. City Clerk, can you take the roll?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Doris.
Present.
Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present today.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Chris.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Good. Now, if I could find my agenda. Oh, here it is. Okay, great.
Just a note that it has been unmuted, Daryl, so they should be able to hear it now.
Okay. Yeah, they're not hitting me back, so apparently. Oh, okay, they say they're good now. They're good.
City Manager, anything to be removed?
No, sir, nothing to be removed.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that. Ken Mann.
Could you call the roll?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Members Doris.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Mann.
Yes.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Chris.
Yes.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Yes. Passes unanimously. Moving on to the consent calendar. Let's remove the
Mayor, you and
CC5.
Councilmember Mann should both recuse from CC5.
I was going to get there.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just old. You gotta just slow down for it.
She's quick.
I have a little patience. Thanks. All right, me and Mr. Mann are going to recuse ourselves from CC5. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as otherwise comprised?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent calendar pulling CC5.
Is there a second?
I second that.
City Clerk, could you call the roll?
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Members Doris.
Yes.
Molly.
Yes.
Mann.
Yes.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Chris.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
You didn't call the mayor's name, Katie.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was the
kidding.
recuse portion. Okay. Mayor Paris.
Yes.
Now it passes.
Okay. Me and Mr. Mann are going to leave it passes unanimously. Me and Mr. Mann will be leaving the meeting for CC5.
Okay, for CC5, do we have any speaker cards? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. I'll entertain a motion.
I second that.
I make a motion that we pass CC5 as comprised.
I second that.
We have a motion second. Roll call vote, please.
City Council members Doris,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ,
Yes.
Passes unanimously with Councilmember Mann and Mayor Parrish recusing.
And we're back. Isn't science wonderful? Okay, I'm looking to see who all is here. Where's the Deputy Mayor, Tiffany Tanner? Not here. All right, moving on. Public hearing item number 1. We have a staff report from Larissa De La Cruz.
Mayor, you got to open the public hearing.
Oh, so the public hearing is now deemed open.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, Larissa, we want you to be spellbinding.
I will do my very best.
Thank
I will
you.
share a screen in just a couple of seconds. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Good evening, Mayor Paris and members of the City Council. The item before you this evening is for an appeal of the Planning Commission's decision to deny a conditional use permit for the construction of a new gas station, car wash facility, and a 3,200 square foot mini mart, including a Type 20 license for the off sale of beer and wine. The Planning Commission reviewed this application at their July meeting and expressed concerns with respect to some of the architectural features of the building and the sale of alcohol by other establishments within the proximity of the site. As part of the staff report to the Planning Commission, staff recommended that the Planning Commission approve the development itself since the applicant had worked towards meeting the design guidelines and requirements of the municipal code. However, staff recommended a denial on the alcohol based on the inability to meet the distance requirements as stipulated in the code. With respect to the distance requirements, the Lancaster Municipal Code requires that a certain distance be maintained between establishments selling alcohol and other sensitive uses, specifically within 300 feet of any residential, 500 feet of other similar establishments, and 1,000 feet away from schools. The proposed use fails to meet those standards since it is located immediately adjacent to residential along the northern edge and eastern edge. It is also less than 500 feet from 2 other exact users and within 1,000 feet of another school, and another school is located just outside this boundary. Additionally, the Planning Commission asked staff to look into a 1-mile radius of other users that provide alcohol, and there are 7 other mini marts, 2 retail establishments with Type 20, and 6 additional retail establishments that sell alcohol within this distance. The municipal code does allow for waivers of this requirement. However, the findings cannot be met based on the information just mentioned. The map before you is a diagram that illustrates the specific uses that are immediately adjacent. You can visualize the residential that is directly to the north and east, along with the other alcohol establishments that are directly to the south of the site, as well as the schools that are within the 1,000 feet and just outside the 1,000 feet. With that, staff recommends that the City Council take action as mentioned in your staff report. Staff is available for any questions. The applicant is also here this evening and would also, if the council is open to hearing, would like to present a presentation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead and take the screen down. Actually, you know, I'd like to see the artist rendition again.
Is that the image, Mayor Paris?
Yeah. Do we have a what it's going to look like from looking down on?
That was not provided. An entire rendering was not. These are solely the elevations that were provided by the applicant.
Okay. So the Planning Commission denied it, right?
Hello?
Correct.
And staff is recommending it. Is that correct?
Staff is recommending it's two recommendations. One recommendation is to allow the development itself without alcohol. The other recommendation is to deny the alcohol itself.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Who?
Hello? Hello?
I can hear somebody.
Okay, pardon the interruption. This is one of the citizens. I would like to comment on this, if I would.
Well, that's fine.
Do that, please.
All right, that's fine, but I would prefer you not interrupt the mayor to do so, okay? I will get to you. I have some questions of the staff. You know what, Larissa, I'm concerned about, I mean, nothing shows me what it would look like from the street. You know, I mean, it's not even good artwork. It's hard to make a decision if I can't see what it's going to look like in real life. All right, and I have some other comments to make. So, but I'd like to hear from the applicant, and then we'll hear from the citizens. Okay.
Sure. I'll stop sharing the screen so they can present.
Okay. So, where's the applicant?
Good evening, Mayor Paris. My name is Alicia Bartley, and I represent the applicant. May I speak?
Can you put your video on?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Where are you? I don't see you.
I'm getting there. Give me 1 second. Okay. Again, my name is, good evening, Mayor Paris and honorable council members. My name is Alicia Bartley with the law offices of Gaines and Stacy, and we represent the applicant and the appellant in this appeal.
Okay, but I can't see you, Alicia. Can you?
I believe the technology only allows, oh, let me see if I can start my video. Let's see. Hello.
There you are. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
See you.
Okay. The project before you tonight, the City Council tonight, is the first element of a development of the corner of 20th Street West and Avenue K. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. Hopefully I've got some renderings here that will answer your previous question, and I think you'll like them. Here we have a rendering that shows what the applicant envisions for this site is an attractive and popular commercial corner. The properties adjacent to the proposed gas station and convenience store will be developed with a sit-down restaurant and a neighborhood serving commercial use. While the applicant cannot finalize negotiations with a tenant for the restaurant space until the project is approved, there have been discussions with both national and local chains for that restaurant. And because the applicant intends to attract a very high-quality operator for the adjacent restaurant and commercial uses, the project you see before you tonight includes a very high-quality, attractive design. And specifically, the project was designed to meet the city's design guidelines. I've got a slide here showing that the gas station, the design gas stations for, the design guidelines for gas stations include 5 solutions to ensure the gas stations in the city are high quality and aesthetically pleasing. And as you'll see, this project complies with all 5. Here is just a general site plan. This shows that the convenience store building is located on 20th Street West, close to the intersection of Avenue K. This meets guideline number 1. We also show extensive landscaping adjacent to the street for screening purposes, and this meets guideline number 5. This rendering shows the architectural consistency between the convenience store building and gas station canopy. the articulation of facades, and the use of high-quality materials, meeting guidelines 2, 3, and 4. And going to a note that was made at the Planning Commission hearing, we actually did change the gas station canopy in response to a question at the Planning Commission meeting whether the canopy that we had proposed before met those guidelines. So we have, in this rendering, we show that we've actually addressed that comment by the Planning Commission. My next slide just shows additional articulation on the facade and extensive landscaping, again meeting guidelines 3 and 5. Beyond providing a high quality and aesthetically pleasing gas station, the proposed use will serve a real need in this community, as data shows the north side of Avenue K is underserved by gas stations. Specifically, our survey of the area revealed that the project site is only one of 2 properties on the north side of Avenue K from 10th Street West to 50th Street West that can accommodate a new gas station. On this stretch of Avenue K, there's currently only 1 station with 8 fueling islands for westbound travelers. This is important because providing travelers on their way home from work an option to get gas. They don't have to make 2 left turns. They don't have to make U-turns. This is a convenient alternative for safety and convenience. And this slide just shows in contrast along the north side of Avenue L on the same stretch, we've got 28 fueling islands exist. And I'm just trying to summarize this. And Avenue K only has 24 gas stations on the 8 westbound, 16 eastbound, and despite having more residents living along this corridor. So we do believe that this project serves a specific community need, and it will be a real benefit to the city. We've also taken a close look at how the project can provide a benefit to adjacent property owners. To address potential impacts to properties to the east, the applicant proposes a 6-foot privacy wall that will be landscaped with ficus trees along the interior of the site. This will eliminate the ability to use the alley as a cut through from residential neighborhood to the commercial uses of this intersection. And this slide shows along the bottom the proposed privacy wall and the trees that we propose for landscaping. So we believe that that's going to be a real benefit to the adjacent residential neighborhood. As discussed, the applicant does request approval to sell beer and wine. The alcohol sales will only be a small portion of the mini mart sales. However, alcohol sales are an essential part of Circle K's business model. Without such sales, the operator will be at a competitive disadvantage from other nearby retailers, and it's such a disadvantage that actually the project will not proceed without it. And we believe that findings in support of the waiver request can be made. Specifically, we've got the proposed beer cave in the project will provide a unique offering in this community with an expanded selection of domestic, imported, and local craft beers. The beer cave itself provides a regulated and controlled environment that reduces the risk of grab and dash theft. And we believe this is a modern amenity that will distinguish this location from other nearby retailers. The applicant has proposed to limit the floor area for sale of beer and wine to just over 10%. And we will agree not to sell single serving containers. And we will agree to limit the hours of operation, or limit the hours of sale of alcohol to as this council deems appropriate. We also will agree to make and we think this is a very important point, the applicant will agree to make a significant financial contribution to a public safety fund that the city may use to ensure a more effective enforcement in this area, or possibly fund a portion of the salary of a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy to patrol the area.
Sounds like a bribe.
It's not a bribe. We are committed to the safety and to being a good neighbor.
All right, Alicia, was it Alicia?
Alicia, yeah.
Alicia.
I've just got a couple more slides to wind up.
All right.
We would also like to note that Circle K has received a recommendation for approval of license from the local office of the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. And after doing its required investigation regarding public safety and license saturation, its conclusion is to recommend approval of the license. And now I'd like to turn the presentation over to George Passantino to speak on the extensive community outreach done in support of this project.
Hey, George.
How are you?
Good. You don't have the votes. So
hear me up?
You don't have the votes. Let's cut to the chase. All right. I don't like the design, because if you look at what the recommended design is, you actually have the landscape concealing the presence of the parking, the cars that are parked. You know, there's, what do you call that, Jason? Help me out here. Larissa, you must know what that is. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about berms.
Berms, yeah. There's no berms to it. I hate the canopy, and that was the whole idea behind the Architectural Commission, is get rid of those canopies that have this garish lighting. You know, I mean, they look like hell. There are a lot of cities that have been doing these things that look beautiful. They're non-intrusive. You don't object to the gas station being there at all. I mean, this is a bare minimum attempt to meet the current standards, and you're not the only one. I mean, every one they've approved so far has failed to comply with what I was hoping to achieve. There's a way you can save this project, though, and I could probably even lobby enough votes for it to pass. You have to put in a hydrogen fueling station. One hydrogen fueling station. If you were to do that, I would lobby the council, and I would probably be able to get 2 more votes, I'm guessing. But that's what it's going to take. Okay, George?
Okay.
Do those things, and I'll make some trades, and you can have the beer and wine license with it. Give me the hydrogen fueling station, I'll give you the beer and wine.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I cannot speak on behalf of the applicant specifically. I appreciate your input and feedback there. We want to work with the city however we can to create a successful project. I would just, if I could just mention a couple of things. Well, I mean, I guess it's really not really relevant one way or the other. I think it's fairly clear where we are. We did extensive community outreach. We conducted an aggressive social media, direct mail, and email communication to the adjacent residents, particularly to the south and to the west, to get their concerns and get their input. And we do have some pretty positive feedback from that. Here you can actually see briefly the social media promotion and the mail piece that went out. I believe it was north of 3,000 mail pieces that went out. And it was designed to ask their input on what types of uses that they would like. We had 332 people respond to the survey, and you know, we know surveys are surveys. I try to be as intellectually honest with them as I can. When we asked them how they felt about the Circle K selling beer and wine, we got a pretty strong level of support. Now, again, I'm going to just kind of put this with a grain of salt, if you will, because it's a snapshot. But I think that this applicant has shown a very eager appetite to work with the community. My colleague Rick Norris also addressed a concern with an adjacent property owner that was concerned particularly about some of the foot traffic behind their building to the north of it. If we can go to the next slide. One of the concerns, I mean, let's face it, when you deal with alcohol, the biggest concern is the single beverage consumption that occurs. So somebody walks into a gas station, buys a can of beer, and goes and camps out behind a wall and drinks it. You can see this is the property, and you can see the footpaths that exist across the property there. As Alicia mentioned, we are putting in a barrier wall that will prevent this from occurring. So again, this doesn't address your concern, Mr. Mayor, with the alternative energy fueling station, but I think you see here a sincere desire on the part of the applicant to to work with the city, to work with its neighbors. And I would suggest that there probably aren't too many projects of this small size that do the level of outreach that they did. So I just wanted to throw that in there for your consideration, sir, and for the council's consideration. Again, I cannot speak on behalf of the applicant. Candidly, I can't spend their money, but you know, they, I know that they want to work with the city.
Okay. George, we're soon going to announce an agreement with the Japanese government we were going to be I don't know what you would call it, but we're going to have a sister city relationship with a hydrogen city in Japan. They are coming into Lancaster in a huge way. They're going to be providing incredible number of jobs. And more importantly, we've become the center of hydrogen technology for the country. And that's all going to happen within the next year. That's why I want the fueling station. They're not going to lose money with it. That's what's going to power this city very soon. The design, I want this city looking far more upscale than it does. I want there to be a clear distinction of when you enter the boundaries of Lancaster, you immediately know it, and it's a good thing that you know. It's not going to take much to improve that design to meet the standards that we're proposing. What they have to do is they have to try to meet the standards we want and not do the bare minimum. And, I'm sorry, that's how I view what they presented. If they do those things, this could happen. But they first have to, pencil it out. What does it cost to put in a hydrogen fuel station? I don't know. I know that it is going to be what everybody is going to be demanding 5-10 years from now. But, Lancaster has led the way in its alternative energy, and this is the next step. And you're not going to be the only ones that are hit with these requirements. You just happen to be the first. Anybody else?
Well, we appreciate that.
I'm sorry, what?
That we appreciate that.
I mean, you always do great work. I mean, you have better community outreach than I've ever seen, and that's been consistently true now for 20 years. I'm not surprised you got so many people agreeing to it. You just forgot a couple people.
Mr. Mayor,
right, Marvin?
I apologize. May I ask a brief question?
Sure.
I just throw it out there. Are there any funds with, for instance, AQMD that could be a partner in this? Because again, the applicant is interested in solving the community's problems, and the level of investment in being the renewable capital of the world is not lost on me. I mean, you can see I'm standing in front of a solar project. I mean, we've been on that journey with you, and we're glad to continue.
I'm sure there are, but the person that's able to bring in huge amounts of money into this community for alternative energy is Marvin Chris, the vice mayor. That's probably why he's vice mayor when we come to think about it. He's got a terrible sense of humor. Here I'm, attempting to entertain him. He doesn't crack a smile. But that being said, Marvin, see if there's any money out there to put a hydrogen fuel station in.
They have 2 other facilities that are coming up before us.
Same people?
Yes, and that would be a good place to put those. But this place is saturated with alcohol licenses, and I don't see it going in there, not because of the other requirements that you're asking, but because of the alcohol. It's just oversaturated in that area.
But Marvin, if they give us the first hydrogen fuel station, I mean, I'm willing to bend a little.
Well, but you can bend on J and 20th. You can bend on 20th and I. We don't need to bend on this one.
You're such a hard ass. We'll talk later.
Mr. Mayor, it would be appropriate to get public input and make sure we hear from the council and consider the action that's before the council.
Good, I agree. First of all, council, do you have anything?
I think
I was feeling left out a little bit, but I was just going to let you two talk.
What did you say?
I was feeling a little left out. I'm the newest one here, me and the freshman here, so I don't know these gentlemen. I don't know what they've done. I haven't been talked to or anything, so I would love to sit down and see what their vision is and what they're trying to do and get to know them before I make any decision on something like this. I saw, and I trust our staff report, and right now all I can do is take the staff report for what it's saying, what it's worth. So that's where I stand on it right there.
Mayor, this is Ken. My biggest concern, I'm more inclined to agree with staff, but Marvin brought up, and I think we've possibly got a perfect storm taking place, because what we're asking to do is operate outside of the, our statutes of the way we've got things laid out, and that's why they're asking for the variance. But I think we need to have a better holistic approach. That's my position. So I'm inclined to support what staff has recommended tonight. But I don't know if I'd be willing to do anything other than that.
Okay. Raj, you got anything?
I pretty much, like Ken said, and like you said, I think I'm going to go with the staff report so far right now.
Well, wait a minute. The staff report is saying give it to them the way it is. I think that's a mistake. I mean, we've agreed on how, in the past, how we want these stations to look. This doesn't look like what we talked about.
Right.
The other thing, I mean, we're either going to lead the world in alternative energy or we're not. And in order for us to do it, the next step is hydrogen. And, if we got something to trade to get people to there, we should trade it. But maybe it's okay to just do things business as usual, if that's what I'm hearing from you.
Well, no, Rex, let me, my apologies. You're correct. Aesthetically, I'm not impressed with the design of the project. Possibly we need to send it back and they need to take another look at it. Because I don't think aesthetically it matches some of our products that we put out most recently on major corners. And obviously with the redesign of Avenue K off-ramp, I think we're going to see a change in traffic patterns at Avenue K and specifically 20th. But my biggest concern is the fact that, we're kicking things upstairs to the council and people are asking for a waiver, and we don't have just this freight train loaded. We've got boxcars loaded behind it. And you do for one, then my suggestion is we may end up finding ourselves doing the same for others.
I agree with you, Ken. We have a lot of projects seem like they're starting to come down the pipeline, especially with a brand new something being built on K and 15. We don't know what that's going to be asked for, which is in the same vicinity. Secondly, I believe this is a take all or nothing, according to what Mr. George said, that if our attorney said if they don't get the liquor license, they won't go through with the project anyway. So at least that was my understanding, if I heard Alicia correctly. So everybody go back to the drawing board. I come from communities where communities have been oversaturated with alcohol, and no matter how they package it, it's never good for the community. And I don't want to see Lancaster done that way. And I agree with Ken, it sets a precedent that we have to be careful of. If we're going to extend someone a exemption, it really needs to be truly something unique, not just because it's, it's just empty property there. So.
Oh, Daryl, are we on the same page or not?
I'm on the same page, which I like what you said. Let's go back to the redesign and the whole thing. Yes, I'm with you on that. But they said it themselves. They said, am I correct, Alicia? Did you not say that if they don't get the liquor license, then they would rather not do the project? Did I mishear you on that?
You did not mishear me. That is a crucial point of their business model.
Okay, so we're all basically saying the same thing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I didn't hear what you said.
We're just asking for a trade.
And I understand that. And what I'm hearing is that the aesthetics are not up to your standards, and that's fine. I'm happy to go back with this project and work with staff on the aesthetics. And I'm happy to discuss with my client the option of putting in a hydrogen fueling station. That's something that we have not discussed, so I'm not prepared to provide an answer on that. But as long as we're going back to work with staff on design issues, I'm happy to discuss that as well and bring this back to you in a month.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good. Any citizen speaker cards or virtual speaker cards?
At this time, anyone wishing to comment on PH1, please press *9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your call-in number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please press *9 at this time. Caller with the last 4 digits, 4345.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, this is Kevin Seeley. My wife and I are the owners of the 4-unit residential townhome building nearest the proposed development to the east of this K and 20th Street development. First, let me say I commend the owner for persevering through the planning process. I am not anti-development. I understand the time and investment it took for him to get to this point, and I appreciate Ms. Alicia's comments, as well as the comments from Mr. Darrell Doris. That said, however, I firmly support the Planning Commission's decision to reject the ABC Type 20 license tied to this development. I've owned this residential townhome building for many years. Myself and other residential unit owners of the J15 townhomes have seen the past and current activities of vagrancy, loitering, graffiti, and homelessness in the street and alleys surrounding the residential units on the West Avenue J15. Although the public can still get alcoholic beverages at locations nearby, sales even closer to this residential combining zone and articulation zone would increase nearby foot traffic and encourage further loitering in the area. If the council votes for the Planning Commission's denial of the conditional use permit 1817, I would like to point out a few concerns to both the council and Planning Commission. Noise, the proposed car wash is at least about 80 feet from the side patio doors of my tenants, and the plans with mitigated negative noise declaration for operations on page 72 of the original plans do not reflect affirmative check boxes determining the level of noise and ground vibration travel post-construction and operations. Out of consideration for the nearby residential community, I would like to see the owner of K and 20th have additional security cameras on site, security during operations to mitigate loitering and vagrancy should the project be approved. Unless mitigated, I think this was already answered with the wall going up in the alley. I appreciate that, as well as the additional landscaping. Lastly, should the council approve CUP 1817, I would like to see some of the generated tax revenues go toward paving the city-owned street and alleys surrounding the West Avenue J15 residential townhomes, which has not been paved since they were built nearly 35 years ago and has basically turned to just above gravel, as well as ensuring sufficient street work is done to accommodate the excess drainage and pooling of water at J15 adjacent to the Circle K development. Thank you for hearing my comments.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Maribel?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, my name is Maribel. Hi, I hope that you guys can hear me. I am a community service worker, and my field is substance abuse. I work in the prevention of that, and what I wanted to ask is that I understand that most of you are not, pleased with the design and would like to have a hydrogen fuel station. I know that, Lancaster wants to lead the way in a lot of different projects, which is a great thing to hear. I'm a new person out here in the AV, and I really like what I hear in terms of the growth. I'm a property owner, so that really appeals to me. What I wanted to ask of council is that if you would consider this license, which I would hope that you really would not consider the liquor license, but if you were to consider it, that you would please consider having part of the CUP no single serve in that business. I would like to ask that you could please put in the CUP to limit the percentage of space that can be allocated for alcohol itself. I would like to ask that you please consider not approving that liquor license, because I don't believe, in reading the staff report and everything from the planning meeting, I do not believe that this particular location with the liquor is going to meet the need or the convenience of any of the residents around there. I would also like to kind of echo the sentiments with Mr. Doris and Mr. Mann regarding the waiver. For fear of overconcentration, I've worked in many cities throughout LA County, and I have seen that happen a lot in a lot of the cities. There are a lot of unintended consequences that can come from something like this, and I'd like to ask for you to consider that. Also, if I'm not mistaken, in reading the report, I noticed that the hours of alcohol would be from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., and I would like to have some type of consideration that limits the hours to, less than that. I think 6 o'clock in the morning is extremely early, especially because it is looking like a place where a lot of folks are commuting to and from. I don't know the fatalities or the DUI stats, but, that may be something that we need to also consider. So thank you for listening to me tonight.
Thank you, Maribel. Anyone else?
Randy, is it Terrell? I'm sorry if I mispronounced.
Yeah, Terrell.
Oh, okay. It is your turn to speak.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Randy, before you start, could I have the deputy mayors put on their cameras, please? Okay, go ahead, Randy.
So my name's Randy Terrell. I live just down the street from this development. I live near the corner of K 20th Street West. And I moved here from Long Beach about 9 years ago. And I would say this corner, the vacant lot is disgusting. And it's been this way the 9 years that I've lived here. And every single other corner, there are real issues with that gas station on the opposite corner. But it really is this vacant lot. It's a blight. And it's disgusting. It's filled trash usually because people are walking through it. And it's just disgusting. And so I really like where, Mr. Mayor, where you're going. I encourage City Council tonight to work with these folks. There was a comment about, we don't want to just fill it, but it's been that way forever. And as long as I've been here, and I know I haven't been here that long, but I really encourage you to work with the developers so we can get something in there so that's not, a blighted corner when I'm going home. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. Anyone else?
There are no other speakers.
Thank you. So, is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we, resolution number 2051, that we uphold the Planning Commission's decisions denying the alcoholic beverage type 20 license.
Well, if we do that kind of blows out everything we just said, doesn't it?
It does. I'm not going to get past the alcohol side of it. I mean, I think they have, personally, I don't want 3 Circle Ks on 20th and J, 20th and K, 20th and I. And this area, if you look at the crime rates that are in these area, all the apartment buildings on both sides of the street, we promised these people last time that we wouldn't put any more alcohol in that area. We denied a permit over off at 20th and K8 when they were trying to develop that for more alcohol in the area. The area is oversaturated, so I agree with you as far as negotiating with them to get, they talked about, I talked to Mr. Pasentino before in regards to how much a deputy would cost. All that can be talked about, but at this time, I am not going to get past the alcohol side of it.
Hold on. I'm
Vice
playing-
Mayor Christ?
I'm playing with my computer. Hold on a second. I lost my agenda and I've lost. Okay, I'm back.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Christ, is your motion to adopt Resolution 2051 only, or to also adopt 2050?
The other one is to build it. So if I just do the one, it just gets rid of the alcohol. You can still negotiate the other side of it.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood your motion.
Yes.
You know, okay, I mean, I'm obviously opposed to it because I know what I'm asking them to do in putting a hydrogen station in there. I mean, that's a huge ask. And so I think we have to give something back for it. But, you know, I don't know, is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, let's vote.
City Council members Doris,
Yes.
Molly, Councilmember Molly,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Christ,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
No.
The motion passes 4-1, with Mayor Paris voting no. You still have before you Resolution 2050, on which you could take action, or you could continue to a future hearing. And I would ask for the applicant's input, Mr. Mayor, if they want.
Yeah, I have a question. Can we send it back to the Planning Commission to, for the mayor's adjustments on that?
No, do not do it. Do not waste staff time doing something you know they can't do. You know, I'm really getting fed up with it being who brings the thing to the council rather than what the project is. And you all know what I'm talking about. But you can make any motion you want.
I'm confused. I'm totally confused now.
Well, we didn't have any trouble at all approving a huge complex in the middle of a residential area on Avenue L. But it was a different group of people asking to do it. You know, I'm just, I'm not happy with this, obviously, but you guys do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you now, if we do not have a united voice, forget about having a hydrogen city here. We are asking the nation of Japan to put $1 billion into this community, and I need to know that this council is behind me in doing it. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. But it is $1 billion investment that we're on the cusp of getting. And over a liquor store, I can't get a hydrogen station in? Seriously?
So Mayor, maybe we got to hear from the applicant of what they would like. Because we either got to take action on it or send it back.
Or continue it.
Or continue it.
On behalf of the applicant, I already mentioned that, you know, the applicant is happy to go back and work with staff on any of the design guidelines, any of those issues. We're happy to talk to the applicant about putting in hydrogen, but unfortunately, without alcohol, the project we can't move forward. It's as I've mentioned, it's a crucial element to the business model. It'll without alcohol, the project will be at such a competitive disadvantage that the site would fail.
Yes, we know that. I mean, we know that. Why are we acting like we don't know that?
Maybe I'm confused on something. Alicia, did you say that your sales are 10% with alcohol?
The floor area dedicated to alcohol sales is just over 10%. So
you're saying that you're willing to, what I'm looking at is 90% of your sales you're willing to throw away over 10% of alcohol in, is what you're basically saying.
I mean, this goes to the business model, but the what do you call it, the money that's made off of gasoline sales, the profit margin is very thin, whereas the profit margin on alcohol is very wide. So having that alcohol sales there, even though it's a small number, the profit margin is wide enough that it makes up for the other, makes the business, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes the business work. I see from the notes that George Passantino has a comment. I don't know if maybe his microphone can be unmuted.
Yeah, Mayor, can we let George speak?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was on mute there. Thank you. I just want to sort of recap here. The applicant is very eager to work with the city. I think that the suggestions that Mr. Seeley made and that Maribel made, we would be willing to accommodate those, but the fact is a motion has already passed on the alcohol license. So that kind of creates a dilemma for us. I don't want to rehash that issue, but this is a unique project. It's not just a liquor store. The beer cave is a unique concept that doesn't exist at any of these other places. It puts the alcohol primarily in a secure location. You have to walk inside of the cooler. It allows for a broader range of options. Homeless people don't go purchase a case of Samuel Adams. They do the single serving. So again, we want to work with the city. The hydrogen fueling station is obviously a pretty large cost. But again, I know in conversations with the applicant, we've talked about electric charging as something else that may be necessary. We don't know, but I bring it up just to point out that this applicant has expressed a willingness to work through some of these issues. But we do find ourselves in that predicament that without some accommodations on the license, you don't have the ability to even do it. So that's kind of where, that's the dilemma. And I'd say this with all due respect. I know you folks work really hard to preserve that quality of life. I used to live down at 59th Street and had to drive down K every day. And I understand what you're trying to accomplish. And I believe that we can be a part of the solution if we're given the opportunity.
George, I'd like to remind you that any one of the 4 yes votes can bring it back as far as the alcohol license. But what you haven't done for us, you haven't given us a design concept that is acceptable to the mayor nor to the council.
Wait a minute. Do not put me into this on the denial. I wanted to send this back, let them redesign it, let them.
That's not what I said.
Proposal. But I did not want to put an obstacle of having denied it and then having to overcome that.
I am telling him what he has the ability to do still. I'm saying your function as far as the aesthetics of the building itself and to do that. They said that they would give us money towards the law enforcement. I've had numerous conversations with George in regards to this, and it's never been a set amount about what we can do. There's too many variables on this whole project. So Rex, if they come back and they say, okay, we can do this and we can put in a hydrogen thing, we can get a grant from the ABA QMD, we can put this in, we'll pay for a deputy, then we'll reconsider it, or at least I would.
Good. There we go. Let's move on.
We do need to take some action with regard to recommendation number 1 on the agenda. And as the Vice Mayor did note, any yes vote on Resolution 20-51 can move for reconsideration of that resolution to bring it back before the council if they wanted to reconsider that position.
So I'm going to make a motion to continue the item number 20-50.
I'll second it.
A future council meeting?
Correct.
And I assume your motion was to continue the public hearing?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarification.
I'll second that.
City Council members,
Yes, on the motion.
Molly,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Christ,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. Passes unanimously. Good, let's move on to PH2.
Your Honor, or Mr. Mayor, one quick question. Was there a motion to reconsider the alcohol?
Not tonight.
Oh, wait a minute. If you come back, George, if you can do the hydrogen and you can do the design changes, I need you to meet with Marvin and I.
We will move heaven and earth.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to PH2.
Open the public hearing, please.
Public hearing is open. Jeff Hogan.
It'll be me tonight, Mayor. This is Trolis Niebla, wearing my city engineer hat. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Thanks for allowing me to present tonight. The item before you.
I thought we promoted you.
We did. That's why I said I'm wearing my city engineer hat tonight, because this is my leftover item.
There will be a formal announcement in our city manager announcements.
All
but
right.
I guess it's formal now. Congratulations.
Okay, don't screw this presentation up, okay?
Well,
your promotion is right on the line here. I mean, this is a huge promotion for you.
That's a correct statement.
But I don't want any indication that you're nervous.
This is a good feel-good story, so it's a good presentation. I'm more than happy to give this one.
Okay, but don't let Marvin say anything because you'll screw it up.
This is the introduction of an ordinance to establish the speed limits on 32 roadway segments and the adoption of the engineering and traffic survey dated June 2020, prepared by Interwest Consulting, which is required by state law to establish speed limits. These 32 roadway segments, they're really unique because they're segments that have undergone changes in either striping or configuration as a result of the city's enhanced safety efforts that were identified in our council-adopted Master Plan of Complete Streets, the Safe Routes to School, and then most recently, the Safer Streets Action Plan that council took, that adopted in January of this year. So what this did is it really gave us a chance to look into the effectiveness of those safety efforts. So how are we doing? Well, when you looked at the speed, we saw a reduction of 5 miles an hour of the posted speed limit on 12 of those 32 segments. 20 of those remained unchanged, so they'll have the same speed limits that they had before. That means there's a 37% of the segments surveyed, they get a reduction in the posted speed limit, so that's a pretty good number. And in fact, if you look at speed across the board and just average speed across all 32 segments, we saw a 2 mile an hour reduction across the board. The next metric we looked at was injury collisions. Over the 32 segments, from before we did the road reconfigurations to after, we saw a 37% reduction in the number of injury collisions. So that went from 51 before down to 32. So we think that these results really reaffirm these safety efforts that were identified in our council-adopted master plans, and that the implementation of staff is really having a positive impact on our community. With that, we recommend that council take action as identified in our staff report, and I'm available for any questions should you have any.
Any questions? So can we figure out some signage that alert the public to the effect, like of the road diets, the roundabouts, and the number of lives that we estimated they've saved, so that we can actually put it up on a sign out there, maybe a digital sign?
Yeah, and we've actually also been working with communications department now, and you'll see it on the Facebook the different social media platforms. They've been putting out different blasts with this data in it and that kind of thing. So I think we could roll that into something like that.
I think when people are driving by those huge bike lanes that there's no bikes on and are irritated as can be by them, I think that's when they need to be some kind of sign saying, because of this many people are alive today that wouldn't be. Otherwise, I don't think the connection's made. You know, there's a little bit of inconvenience to this, but the value of it, far exceeds that inconvenience. So if you can work with them on that, I'd appreciate it. But I think we need that signage right there when they're feeling that irritation. They can read it. Okay?
Will do.
Okay, good. Is there a motion?
You're going to close.
Oh, I need public comment. All right.
At this time, anyone wishing to comment on PH2, please press *9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your calling number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please press *9 at this time. We have no speakers.
Okay, is there a motion?
We need to close the public hearing, please.
Oh, public hearing is now closed.
I'll move that we introduce ordinance number 1076.
I will second that.
Let's vote.
City Council members Doris,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. Passes unanimously. CA item number 1. I'd like the council to consider the appointment of Giovanni Pope as a commissioner to the Social Equity Commission. Is there any public comments?
This time, anyone wishing to comment on CA1, please press *9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your calling number when it is your turn to speak. Please state your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please press *9 at this time. We have no speakers.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
City Clerk, if you could call the roll.
City Council members Doris,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. I would like the council to consider the appointment of Christopher DeLoach. Is that how you pronounce that?
Motion passed unanimously.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I jumped ahead of myself. Moving back to, is it, Heather, how do you pronounce his name?
I believe that's correct, Deloche.
Deloche? Okay. Is there a second?
I second that.
Are any public comments?
At this time, anyone wishing to comment on CA2, please press *9. We have no public comments.
Let's vote.
City Council members Doris,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chris,
Yes.
Mayor Paris.
Yes. It passes unanimously. Congratulations. We'll swear you in at the next meeting, if you're listening. We have a council report on the District Number 14 County Sanitation.
We were able to, or we are working on refinancing all the bonds and everything that the sanitation district has. When they're complete, we will save a little over $1 million a year on the interest rate that we pay for those bonds. So that's very, very good. And we're working on a couple different projects. We have what they call pivots out there on the east side, where they're the round farming. And when you take 40 acres and you use a pivot, you lose 2.5 acres on each corner. We're looking to have some nonprofits grow things like pumpkins on those in those areas, and the sanitation can either use tertiary water or water that the sanitation district is allowed to do that. I think all the nonprofits are having a hard time. We're just making good use. The farmers have agreed to it. They're just working out the logistics of it. For ABTA was able to do a food giveaway along with AB Chevrolet, the city of Lancaster. Over the weekend, we gave away, Mr. Doris was there, Mr. Mann was there. I was there. We were giving away, they gave away some very, very good food to people. And the line went from ABTA all the way around the corner to and past the courthouse on Avenue M. So it was very, very successful. Jason, did you have something you wanted to share with that?
Yeah, great. We did a video of it, so I'll do a screen share real quick and share that video.
We're at ABTA, and it's a giving day to the community, and you can see all the bags of food, boxes of food, tremendous outreach to the community, and the line goes clear down Avenue M, clear down past the courthouse, so you can really tell that we're going to reach a lot of people today.
AB Chevrolet got together with the city of Lancaster and ABTA, and we all got together and decided that this was a good thing to do for the entire community. They contacted Project Hope. Project Hope is involved in it. It was the entire community getting together to give back to the community. We have enough to feed about 1,500, 2,000 people, so we'll see how well we'll be able to do it. I'd just like to thank our sponsors and everything for giving back to the community, and that's what Lancaster's about.
I was out there on the front lines for a while lifting those boxes, so you can tell all the energy that they put into Project Hope. Like I said, One Love, AB Chevrolet is a staple in this community. The Gonzaleses, they have done well in this community for years. And then the churches, we just have tons of great community here, and not just the religious community, but all the community coming together. This is something that we have common ground. We all have a common denominator, making sure people eat, making sure people have the essentials, making sure that people understand that they're not in this by themselves. Looking forward to continually do more. Just understand that we're going to get through this, that the times will get better. I think the worst is over and the best is yet to come. And we're going to stay strong, stay well, and be informed.
Back to you, Marvin.
So I'd like to thank the council for participating in the city. I think it's a great thing. We're looking at doing another one. It might be high hopes, but we're looking at doing a giveaway of food prior to Christmas, along with the Sheriff Boosters, AB Chevrolet, ABTA, and I'm currently talking with both unions that have done that before. And when I mean both unions, both sides of the park. So the unions are backing it, and we're getting food in, and hopefully we'll be able to give a turkey or a ham to all the residents that want one or need one. So we're looking out for their interest and make sure that they have a good Christmas. So that's all I have on that.
Thank you. Anything else from the council on council reports? Okay, moving on. City manager, any announcements?
Yes, Mayor, a couple things. First, I want to thank Marvin and the team and ABTA for that grab and go. I think it's food shortages or food need is still a big issue in the community, and we're going to continue to support those types of things. I want to remind everybody Operation Jumpstart has drawn to a close, and just some stats about Operation Jumpstart is that as a result, 3,500 vehicles were sold in that period of time. That is a shocking number of vehicles. So if you can imagine, that's 3,500 sales. It equates to about $140 million in sales and transacted during COVID, which is huge for us. Not only is it transacted for those local businesses, but it's also that program put an additional $500 to $250 of additional money in people's pockets to spend locally. So as we can conclude the program, I think it's just a fantastic shout out to the team who put it together. obviously the council's vision in making that happen, in support of the auto dealers and making that happen. It's been a successful venture. I also want to remind everybody that our small business resources is still available. The county came out recently with some new openings, some new opportunities to, some changes in the way they're doing business as relates to COVID. Those resources are still available. We have PPE, patio furniture, services, and park rentals, all these things that are associated with business recovery. We have those availability. So I would ask those businesses who need help to reach out and let us help where we can help. Also announced that playgrounds have reopened officially. So we are beginning a sanitizing process associated with that. But our playgrounds and facilities are completely open. So get your children out there. Obviously, stay socially distant, wear your masks, but enjoy the fresh air and athletic abilities that our parks provide you. One note, too, is the Owen Park is coming along very nicely at Owen Park, the construction of that new playground set over there. It's going to be a phenomenal addition. It's kind of fun to watch it go up. So I don't play on many playgrounds, but if there was a playground to play on, that would be one of them. And the Boulevard Farmers Market, shout out to Tiffany Tanner. I don't know if you want to give an update on how you're doing out there, but she started a booth out of the Farmers Market sharing the need for health and what she's going out there. So a big shout out to Tiffany. I know that she's put her personal time and energy in this and her heart and soul. So she's been a fabulous addition to the team, and it's good to have her. So just a shout out to her. LPAC, shout out to LPAC Bay. Tiffany, you want to update?
Yeah, just real fast. I just wanted to remind everybody, if you are free Thursday, stop by. It would be great to see you. We are not doing actual vaccinations on site. We are simply making sure that everybody that comes by, everybody that we can reach out to, has information about where they can receive a flu vaccine, as well as information about COVID testing, information about all sorts of other aspects of healthy living, from snacks to stress management and mental health stuff as well. We're also running a coloring contest. So on the 29th, we'll be announcing a winner. It's been a super fun time. I've always enjoyed the farmers market, but just being out there, I've forgotten how fresh the air gets this time of year. It's lovely. If anybody's available, stop by, say hi. We'd love to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So, doctors, do we have anything on COVID-19?
Yeah, I have a slide to update the City Council on the world, the nation, the state, the county, just a few slides to go over, and then maybe some recommendations for Halloween and celebrate it safely.
Well, we'll show that screen now, Doctor. I'll share it right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
Thanks.
All right, you are.
First slide, maybe slide number 2.
Is that number 2?
Slide down, I guess. Could you put it into presentation mode, and maybe you could advance it as I ask, like next slide?
I'm viewing it in presentation mode. I don't know if you see it differently.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, it's not in presentation mode. Jason?
Yeah.
If you go to the bottom right, go 3 buttons over and press that. Who's ever controlling this?
Me. Hey, somebody run in here and help me out here. I see it in presentation mode on my screen.
Oh, okay. I can try to share my screen. I don't know. I've never done it before.
Try that.
Okay, let me try.
Hold on, we got tech help coming in too.
Okay, I'll wait.
You're going to have to give the doctor screen control.
It is showing correctly on his, but I agree, I didn't see it correctly on mine.
Dr. Trong, if you can try that. It's showing correctly on mine. I'm not sure why it's not showing up appropriately.
Okay. Well, go ahead and advance to the next slide then. Can you advance to the next slide?
This one?
So I still see the same slide, the heading, Lancaster City Council. Do you see the Johns Hopkins slide? No?
Jason, I think you have to share the correct window. So when you have a chance to, or when you share your screen, you have to share the window that has the actual live presentation on it.
You see anything different there?
No, it's about it's the same screen.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
It's okay. You mind if I share? Maybe I can.
Yeah, if you want to try to share, go for it.
Okay, I'm going to try. Here we go.
All the millennials are laughing at us.
Can you see now? Can you see the full screen?
No.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You see your screen.
Okay, I'll just walk. How about this slide? Can you see this slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I can, I'll go from there. So this is the really high 40,000 feet view of the world. What's happening, this is from Johns Hopkins. So globally, there are 37 million cases of COVID year to date. This is from this morning data here, 189 countries involved. And as you can see, the United States has the most infected positive cases, 7.8 million. India's right behind us, 7.1. Then Brazil with 5 and Russia at 1. Going across to the other side where the deaths are, it's about over 1 million deaths. The United States having the most, again, 215,000, with Brazil right behind us at 150, et cetera. This map just shows you the heat map of where, just visually where the infections are. United States, Brazil, India, Europe, and scattered throughout Russia. Do you see the next slide, a picture of the United States?
Yes.
Okay, so this slide shows how we're doing in the United States. Again, if you look at the heat map, it just tells us that basically most of the infections are in the lower, in LA, in the southern states. Recently, the newspapers reporting an increase in infections throughout the country, and it looks like it's mostly in the Midwest and a little bit down on this side of the country. If you go to the top 50 counties, LA County remains number 1. Right behind there, Florida, Miami-Dade, Chicago, Harris in Texas, Maricopa, I believe, in Arizona, and Dallas. So most of the southern part of the country is still the heavy, where most of the infections are. And the deaths on this county, on this side of the screen, LA County has the highest number of deaths, followed by New York and Chicago and others. This is more of the most recent up-to-date. This is from yesterday. These states now have the most new cases. As you can see, Florida, North Carolina, Indiana, most of the Midwest and the middle part of the country is now seeing the increase. California, we're down here, ranked number 19. So we're really not seeing the increase that that other parts of the country are seeing. And as you see the increase in cases, you see the increase in deaths. On this side, this is the graphical presentation of positive new cases. As you can see, it's increasing. And I don't know if you can see the end of this. Number of daily deaths, though, is continuing to improve. So the daily new cases increasing, but deaths are improving, are not increasing at the same time. This is, now we're down to the LA County level, 888 new cases as of 10/12 yesterday, a total of 282,982. Our testing continues to trend down a little bit. We are now at 12,000 cases per day. And our positivity test, do you see this that here? It's, I think, 3.2%. So that's really favorable. The rate of positive testing is low, and this is really favorable because as we do more tests and the positivity rate is lower, that means that infection is really rates are improving in the county. This shows continued decrease in deaths. As of yesterday, 2 new deaths reported, total of 6763. And here on the right side of the screen, hospitalization continues to trend down as well. So in terms of LA County COVID infections, relatively favorable. The LA County total mortality is 61 per 100,000. And if you look at the ethnicity and the poverty level, the highest group for ethnicity is Hispanic Latino at 96 per 100,000. And for poverty level, areas with poverty level 30 to 100% also have the highest mortality rate. This slide shows who's getting infected, what kind of age group is getting infected for LA County. As you can see here, the young people are getting infected. 18-year-olds to 49-year-olds have the most percentage of cases. And then there's a drop in this age group from 5 to 11. And then the next group is 50 to 64. The number of deaths remains high in the older group, even with current remdesivir and dexamethasone and all the available treatments. Again, adjusted case rate for LA County is 2709 per 100,000, and death rate is 61 per 100,000. I'll show our local numbers compared to these in the next slide or two.
Is that 100,000 people who have COVID-19, or just the 100,000 per 100,000 population?
Population.
Per population, not the denominator is just population, not infected.
Is it still running about 1.5%, the mortality?
Mortality is still less than, yes, less than 5%.
Less than 5 or less than 2?
Last I saw was less than 5, but I have not seen less than 2, but I think I have to look that up again.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. So in terms of where we are with our tier assignment, if you look at the state of California, we now divide the risk into the colors, purple, red, orange, and yellow. Widespread purple being the highest, where you have more than new cases per 100,000, and your positivity test is 8%. If you remember in the previous slide, our positive test is 3%. So in terms of that, we are in the moderate range of county risk. But what happens, though, is you have to stay in the previous risk level, which LA County is, for 2 weeks before you go to the next lower level. So we are right here in the substantial risk, but we should be able to go to the moderate level pretty soon if our rate of testing continues to be improved and our daily new cases continues to improve.
Do we know what it is for Lancaster?
Yes, I think this is our Lancaster numbers and our local hospital numbers. So for Lancaster, our cases are 3754 with 65 deaths year to date, and Palmdale a little bit more, both case and deaths. And there are other hotspots like LA 259, Quartz Hill at 190, Sun Village 174, with a case final death, case of 9352 and death of 164 for the greater Antelope Valley. If you look at Lancaster case rate, 2364 per 100,000, I don't know where I got 2364. I apologize. I think it was an old number. I should be putting 3754 into here. I apologize for that. Oh, I'm sorry. I did do the math. 3754 divided by 160,000. So our case rate is 2364 compared to 2709 of LA County. That's correct. And our death rate, if you take 65 divided by 160,000 times 100,000, we're at 40 versus 61 for LA County. So
what about new cases?
I'm sorry?
What about new cases? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what color we are.
I don't have the new cases. I don't have the new cases.
Okay, thank you.
Worse so.
But as you can see, our numbers are a little bit better for Lancaster and moderately better for death rate for Lancaster as well. It is creeping up, though, because I think about 4 weeks ago, we were at 36 per 100,000. So it's creeping up. And If you recall, the younger the population, the higher the case rate, because just young people are more likely to get the infection. On this side, these are our numbers from today. We have 27 confirmed at AV. Really very minimal in the ICU. So what we're seeing is an increase, a trickling recently in the past 1 to 2 weeks of cases, but we're not seeing severity of disease. People are not really in trouble in the ICU at all. And as our doctors and Tiffany knows, we are now treating it very effectively with remdesivir, which is widely available. We have dexamethasone, very widely available. And now we offer a convalescent transfusion, which is also widely available. So we are seeing an increase in infection, but they're not as sick. So here, just going forward, Halloween is coming up. There's a lot of questions about Halloween. The recommendation is not go door to door to get candy because that just increases your exposure to hand, face, mouth, etc. These are the recommended guidelines on the LA County website, a state site actually, to do things that are just as fun but not as risky. So, for example, haunted house, scavenger hunt in your home, maybe a scary movie night, pumpkin carving at home, participate in online parties and contests, maybe car-based outings. Wonder where they got that idea from. Car-based outings where people can do not leave their car but drive through and see a Halloween display or contest or movies. Households, maybe 2, 3 other households, a small party basically, a small gathering, and then other things. So, but basically, door-to-door is not recommended given the high risk of handing out candy and just being very close to people face-to-face. Although the mask does help, but the mask only protects the person with the disease. And that's all I have. If you have any further questions, Dr. Stock and also Tiffany can also chime in.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you. That was great. I would say that when I've seen comparisons of our area to the rest of LA County, if we were our own county, we would be in a different color-coded tier. And I think we would, but nevertheless, so there are areas that are harder hit in LA County than us, and I think in South LA and East LA, and they have denser housing there. And I think that's where we're seeing higher caseloads. So that's one thing is about housing density. We're blessed with more space and more wide, less dense housing. We're also done a really good job with mask wearing, social distancing, and not getting together in large groups. And not everybody's doing that. I think some of the numbers are showing young people, maybe 20 to 60-year-olds are going out and getting the disease, and then bringing it home to the 50 to 100-year-olds who are getting sick and having to go to the hospital and sometimes dying. So I think there's also a level of corona fatigue that's out there. We're seeing a little bit of that. So I think everybody needs to take a deep breath, and we got to redouble our efforts and realize this is hard. It's hard not having the level of social contact that you're used to, and that's part of being human. But the virus is still here. I can tell you that. I just worked yesterday and admitted a couple of patients who have it. It's still out there. So we need to keep up on all the things we're doing, stay steady, and we're going to be fine.
Dr. Trong, could you stop sharing your screen so I can get my notes?
Let me get out of that. Sorry.
And I did just want to make one point of clarification that even though the positivity testing rate percentage of that 3.2 would put us down into the red area, the substantial for LA County, unfortunately, because both numbers aren't there yet, we are still in that widespread as of today.
What do you mean both numbers?
There's the positivity, testing positivity rate percentage that is one of the 2 guideline numbers for moving tiers. And both numbers have to be within that bracket, is my best understanding.
Yeah, we're still in the deep purple, I think.
We're still in the deep purple, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
I had stopped sharing the screen. Are you still seeing the screen? I'm not sure.
No, we're good. We're good. Okay. So Tiffany, are you better yet?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Well, doctors, I'm glad you finally cured her.
She cured herself.
I was really beginning to worry about you guys. I mean, the president got cured in 3 days, and it took you 30 days to cure Tiffany.
But he spent several nights in the hospital, and I didn't spend one. So
that's true. That's true.
I'll take it as a win.
Okay, good. Well, we're making progress, it looks like. Anything we're not doing that we should be doing?
I think the risk of a twindemic is coming. You know, as you know, when the winter is here, people are going to be indoors, more close contacts, more Thanksgiving holidays, more Christmas, more New Year's. There's going to be, like Dr. Stock says, fatigue, and people just want to, enjoy each other's company. So having the flu shot available and pushing the flu shot is going to help a lot of us. So
I totally agree with that. Not only that, but there's some evidence that intimate gatherings are maybe the setting where we feel the most comfortable, yet maybe where things are going on. There's definitely things like gatherings like weddings and more formal things, but even backyard gatherings, we have to be careful. It wouldn't, be appropriate, to wear a mask in a backyard picnic and barbecue, because that's where people feel comfortable, and that's where the virus gets transmitted.
You know, Larry, things usually do go on in intimate settings. I thought I'd point that out.
Thank you, Mayor.
I do also just want to make
you couldn't believe I did that.
Moving on. There is a free flu vaccine clinic happening at the AV Partners for Health location on 10th West on Friday morning. More information is available online, as well as at the Healthy Living booth on Thursday night. We'll have flyers there as well. So anybody that hasn't gotten one yet, feel free to come on down.
You know, the reaction to the flu shots by a very small minority was so loud. I'm still reeling from it. You know, I don't know what to do about it. But at the same time, I'm also recognizing that if we just enforce the masks, we might get through this. But I'm seeing a lot of mask fatigue out there. I mean, we just saw a video that the city showed where 90% of the people had masks, but the 10% could kill a lot of people. We've got to be absolutely 100%, especially if the city's involved. They have to wear a mask or they have to leave the area. It really has to be that way. But I think we all know that, but we're all getting tired, I guess. I know I am. But thank you. I mean, you guys have made a huge difference, and it's been measured in the number of people that got to live. I think our numbers would be substantially better without the prison, because it's a confined living area. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. But it's a petri dish over there. But there are people that could do more than they're doing, and I'm recognizing that I have to quit being the one who keeps pointing it out, but I don't know what else to do. It's frustrating. That being said, if you haven't got a flu shot, go get your flu shot, for heaven's sakes. It's not rocket science. We're at least a year out before we have this under control again. The other thing I would like to say to everybody is last time we were in this level of crisis, and it wasn't even this bad, it was 2008 when the economy collapsed. And look what we were able to do, because times of disruption are the times you act, the times you take risks, the times you grow. And we were able to grow exponentially. I mean, we rebuilt the downtown. We brought in thousands of jobs while everybody else was wringing their hands. We are there again. The world is wringing their hands, not knowing what to do. We have got to act with a unified purpose, and I see it coming. And I just need you guys to get on board. I mean, but it means we're going to redefine how we power a city. And Daryl, you seem to be having a lot of mirth in this. Is there a reason?
I was muted. No, I'm sorry. I could get past the flu shots that you said. That's all. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of more phone calls on that.
Did you get a flu shot?
Yes, I did personally. Yes, I did. I did tell a baseball stadium full of people to get a flu shot too. I just want that to be known. I did say it.
How could anybody not recognize in today's world that flu shots are essential? I just don't get it.
It's a trust factor, Mayor.
Well, no, it's a science thing. Although, my wife got a flu shot and she got sick the next day. I mean, but she always does. She expected it. That's what comes with it. But, she also knows if she doesn't go through that one day of getting sick, she could have something much more horrible occur.
Her immune system worked really, really well. That's all.
Is that what it is? I guess it would be, wouldn't it? If you have a reaction, it's because you have an active immune system.
That's correct. Your immune system is revving up, and when it revs up, it releases cytokines, and it feels like a mild flu. So actually, I often recommend taking Tylenol or Advil after the flu shot for 24 hours, because it basically suppresses the cytokines and reduces your fever and your achiness. So people mix that with the actual flu infection, but really it's just your immune system revving up once it's challenged.
What happens if you didn't react? That means it didn't work for you, or what?
No, some people just have more cytokines than others. Some people just have a more brisk immune reaction than others, and it varies. And so,
I had no reaction, so I'm just curious. That's why.
Yeah, most people feel the soreness with their shot and maybe a little bit a larger area around it, and that's about it. But some people have systemic feelings of light flu-like illness, and that's just your immune system revving up.
My immune system is better than Marvin's, though. So,
Marvin, did you get a flu shot?
Yes, sir.
Did you get sick?
No, sir.
That's not a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's like, I'm not as weak as Daryl.
No, I'm an Avenger.
Okay, so Heather, how's our homeless situation?
Since our last meeting, we've had a lot of collaborative meetings and a lot of the different agencies working together to make sure that mostly Lancaster residents have the priority to get into Kensington. There's a few that have come in from Palmdale, but we're really boots on the ground. All of the areas of high encampments, the outreach teams have been there daily making referrals into Kensington. We've gotten most of the beds in the process of being filled. The referrals are in, so we're just going through the referral process and the approvals, but they're local.
Good. What's this Palmdale you said? You said Palmdale was using Kensington? Say that again, would you?
There are a few from Palmdale that
Did you hear that, Marvin?
I did hear that. It's what I've heard.
Did Palmdale help us with the financing of Kensington in any way, Jason?
No, sir.
Why don't we send them a bill?
Ooh, I like that. Well, as much as it's difficult to talk about, or even maybe it's not difficult to talk about, it's an issue. I mean, it's an issue. What are we doing? I don't mind helping Palmdale with their issues, but they got to help us. Have we had that discussion?
We are having that discussion, Rex. And to be fair, under the Measure H, both cities, they pay in about $4.5 million each into Measure H. Palmdale only received $160,000 from their Measure H. So they didn't get back anything. So I'm assuming that we got their share of Measure H funds to help build Kensington. So I don't mind giving them 1 or 2 beds.
So is that accurate, Jason?
Yeah, there was a Measure H funding was a substantial portion of the funding that built Kensington. There was a local component that was loans and grants from the city, but we were the only other partner in that besides the county.
I have a question, Rex, if I could ask Heather before Dr. Stock disappears before our eyes. The fires recently that were going on, I was told that may have been from some encampments. Is that true, or have you heard anything about that, Heather, that's been going on? Do we have any danger from these fires that's popped up?
Not that I am aware of. I can do some research into that. I believe the last I saw it was linked to Edison as far as the Bobcat fire, but I'm not sure.
No, Jason, do you know what I'm talking about? The 2 that were near the underpass or whatever we was.
Yeah, we have multiple and numerous fires in homeless encampments. That's no, I don't want to say it's no secret, but they're not associated with the large fires that we've dealt with, the forest fires. But we do have numerous fires that are under ditches or in drainage ditches, et cetera.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's one other issue, the city attorney. I'm concerned in that, well, let's just say, I read a post today from the mayor of Palmdale that he met with Lancaster churches and had these ballot boxes put in for the church, in the churches for people to drop off their ballots. And then I heard from other sources that may not be legal. I got 2 issues with that. Is one, I don't meet with his churches and try to get involved in that stuff. And I'm a little concerned about that, but I can deal with that individually with them. But if this is a crime, I need to know that, and so does the council, and we need to make a decision. Can you tell me, is it a crime?
It depends on how they do it. The way the ballot harvesting laws in California work are that one can sign over on one's ballot, on the envelope, can assign the task of delivering the ballot to another person, but you have to identify an individual on the ballot. So just dropping it in another box would not meet that statutory requirement. So the drop boxes that are provided by the county are appropriate, but if you're just dropping it into a box that is not provided by the county, then that could be determined to be ballot harvesting in violation of the election codes, which require an individual to be identified on the ballot as the individual authorized to take that ballot for you to the county registrars or to a balloting location.
Well, is it something we need to get involved in? I'd like some guidance from the council here.
We're not agendized for action on this, but this is certainly, if this is going on, this is certainly something we can share with the DA, with the county registrar of voters, and or the Secretary of State and the Attorney General.
I'd much rather have us just reach out to the local pastors and make sure that they know what the law is. And Marvin, you seem to have the most contact with the mayor of Palmdale. Could you tell him to stay out of our city and not to encourage people to break the law?
I will give him that message.
Okay, thank you. Daryl, do you know anything about this? Did anybody approach you?
I have heard. There is a young lady that we deal with Grace that has been talking to churches about harvest balloting. And as far as I know, it's completely legal. Churches are allowed to get their parishioners to get all of their ballots, put it in a container, and then deliver it. And churches have been I know my church personally has been a voting center before, so this is similar to the same thing. And there is something going around with the churches, and I have heard about it, that they are allowing churches to harvest ballot and drop off at their respective churches. I can contact the young lady because it is something that is being, spreaded, and I can talk to her personally and get right back with us on the where she got the information that it is legal to do for churches.
Well, maybe we got multiple groups doing this.
So if the church is a voting location, then certainly dropping ballots off at the church is appropriate because there would be an official ballot box there. But absent an official ballot box from the county, then the voter would need to sign authorizing an individual and writing their name down on the ballot envelope. Without that, it is a violation of the election law, and the Attorney General has issued a cease and desist letter to folks that have been engaging in that.
Okay.
Jason, have somebody from city staff reach out gently and provide the local churches with a copy of whatever the law is, and I'd also like you to reach out to Palmdale, and maybe you could help educate Mr. Hoffbauer as to staying out of our city. Would you do that?
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
I thought that was my job.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably more important for Mark. The second half of that is probably.
You just got fired. Just that quick, you got fired.
Demoted like that.
Just like that.
The problem with this is it's okay. It's I don't see it as that big of a deal, except for when it's not. I mean, if the county decides to enforce this against one church, these churches are out of money. I mean, they have gone through 6 months of reduced funding and not having services, and they're stretched to the max right now. And I don't want anybody doing anything that increases the burden. And so figure out a way to lift that burden nicely to the churches, and not so nice to the perpetrators. Okay? Did I do that well, guys?
Yes, much better.
So what it looks like is Jason gets the nice guy stuff and Marvin gets the bad guy stuff.
Well,
good cop, bad cop.
Marvin did make me mad earlier. I mean, there's got to be some retribution. I love you, Marvin. It's okay.
I thought you forgot about that.
Yeah, right. All right, we're good. Anything I can help anybody with? Anything you need to know? Anything at all?
Public business from the floor.
What?
I just got one more announcement, and I don't want to leave without announcing it. Is congratulations, Charlize Niebla, as the new assistant city manager. You saw him earlier, but to make it official, we appreciate your guys' support and counsel, and that opportunity to share a promotion with a fantastic candidate with 20 years experience as engineering, as well as a lifelong resident of Lancaster. It's a local boy made good, so give a shout out to Charlize.
So, you didn't blow the presentation, aren't you glad?
Thank God.
But, now there's a downside to this. I mean, yeah, it's more money, it's more prestige, and it's all of those things. But, you got to work with the five of us. And I wouldn't wish that on Mr. Hoffbauer.
Jason must have been pulling my leg then, because he said it's pretty good.
You can't believe everything Jason tells you. All right, thanks, guys. Let me find my stuff, and we're going to end this.
Thank you.
Oh, it's time for public comment.
I forgot about public comment. I forgot the prayer, and I forgot the public comment. I'm getting too old for this job. All right. City Clerk, let's do the public comment.
time, anyone wishing to comment on non-agendized items, please press star 9. I will announce the last 4 digits of your call-in number when it's your time to speak. State your name and eliminate any background noise. Individual speakers limited to 15 minutes each. State law prohibits council from taking action on items not listed on the agenda. Please press star 9 at this time. Caller with the last 4 digits, 7946. Caller with the last 4 digits, 7946.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Please state your name.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
We can.
Yeah, my name is David Aber. Good evening, council members, mayor, vice mayor, staff, and everybody. I'm out here at Kensington, and they did bring more people from out of the area last Monday, not to be confused with yesterday. And when I had, intercepted it, so to speak, they removed 2 people from the property. And there's a lot of non-compliance going on out here and no accountability with the people concerned as well as property management. We have a water problem for the last 5 weeks. I don't have adequate hot water. Their grievance process is not in compliance, timely, and I'm putting together a little something for all of you guys. And I spoke with Heather the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate that you guys, I watched the last meeting, and I heard the mayor suggest oversight, and, I'm your guy. I mean, I've been out here for 7 months, and there's this place has a lot of potential, but they're not in compliance, and they're not being accountable, and they've even, retaliated against me for, bringing to the attention what took place back on the 21st. So I'm going to continue to interact with Heather, but, I think maybe a good idea for the upgrade that you guys are putting on hold in the meeting, well, it could be put to good use with an oversight individual. So, I'm willing to step up and do that, and I'm going to provide you guys with a chronologue that I've been keeping since April when I first got here. So, is there any questions? Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Aber. Anyone else?
Anyone wishing to speak, please press star 9 at this time. Caller with the last 4, 7232.
Good evening, City Council. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Nice to see you all. I'm Francis Harris, Commissioner Francis. I just kind of wanted to bring up Measure LC for Lancaster to let know that the advantages that LC has for Lancaster, the 3/4 of 1 penny, that it will increase our budget here in Lancaster. That'll help our city streets, the homeless, and keeping the maintenance of Lancaster up. Since with the pandemic, with the COVID-19, there's been a lot of expenses that have been paid out, and I also wanted to let the people know that there's going to be a citizens advisory group that will be made up by the council that will help in sharing the advice and how the money is spent. Also, I just kind of want to say that this tax that is going to be implemented, the 3/4 of 1 penny, less than a penny, will not be charged on prescription medications or groceries. I thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you, Fran. Anyone else?
We have no other speakers.
Okay. Council, anything else?
Can I just really quickly, if there are any leaders from places of worship that have any issues, this would be the moment. If not, cool, but this is your time.
All right, Tiffany, what do you know that I don't know?
Nothing, just that it's a little confusing if it's somebody's first time at a city council meeting to know when it is that they're supposed to speak.
Oh, I see.
That's my situation, at least my first, like, 4.
Anyone?
Congratulations, Trulies.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Yes, congratulations. I look forward to working with you.
I just want to say that I'm glad that Jason took my advice. I'm gonna leave that there.
Are you trying to take credit for Trolls' job? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, he told me to stop dancing in city videos, so I stopped.
Oh, okay. All right. I hope you're as good as our last assistant city manager. If you can live up to how well she did, you will be doing a great job. For what it's worth. Okay? So, the next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 27th at 2020 at 5 p.m. And we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.